This is a mathematics class for CBSE 10th standard students. We are starting with chapter number 1, real numbers. The first theorem that we are going to study is Euclid's division lemma. Before going into Euclid's division lemma, we will be studying some concepts that we have already studied in the previous classes. So what is a prime number? A prime number is a number that have exactly two factors. One is the number itself and the next is 1. That is, prime numbers are positive integers having exactly two factors, 1 and the number itself. Numbers with more than two factors are known as composite numbers. Numbers in the sense positive integers having more than two factors are known as composite numbers. We can see 13 is a prime number because 13 is having only two factors, namely 1 and 13 itself, or there exists only two numbers that divides 13. First is 1 and the next is 13 itself. So 13 is a prime number. But 4 is not a prime number since 14 is having three factors, namely 1, 2 and 4, or there exists three numbers that divides 4. Therefore 4 is not a prime number. The next thing that we have to understand is 1 is neither a prime nor a composite. The reason is 1 is having only one factor. So 1 is neither a prime nor a composite. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 are all prime numbers. 4, 6, 8, 9, 12, 14, 16, 18 are all composite numbers. 6 is a composite number. 6 is having four factors, namely 1, 2, 3 and 6. I think you have understood the difference between a prime number and a composite number. HCF of two natural numbers. HCF means highest common factor. The highest common factor of two numbers is the largest positive integer, which is a factor of both. The highest common factor of two numbers is the largest positive integer, which is a factor of both. That means if a and b are two positive integers, then the HCF of a and b is defined as the largest positive integer which divides both a and b. Now we will be finding the HCF of 24 and 18. So in order to find the HCF of 24 and 18, we will be writing 24 as the product of prime numbers. Then we will also write 18 also as the product of prime numbers. How we will find the prime factors of 24? We will try to divide 24 by the lowest possible prime, namely 2. We know that 24 is divisible by 2, resulting in 12. Then 12 is also divisible by 2, resulting in 6. Then 6 is also divisible by 2, resulting in 3. And we know 3 cannot be factorized further because 3 is a prime number. Therefore 24 can be written as 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Similarly, we have to factorize 18 also. So we will try to divide 18 by the lowest possible prime, namely 2, resulting in 9. But 9 is not divisible by 2. So we will try with the next higher prime number, namely 3. Then 9 is divisible by 3, resulting in 3. and 3 cannot be further factorized. Therefore 18 is written as 18 is equal to 2 times 3 times 3. We can see that 1 2 is occurring in the prime factorization of both 24 and 18. So we will encircle 2, and 1 3 is also occurring in the prime factorization of both 24 and 18. So we will encircle 1 3. See, 1 2 and 1 3 are the common prime factors of both 24 and 18. So HCF of 24 and 18 is 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Similarly, if we will finding the HCF of 180, we will find the HCF of 180. 100 is factored as 2 times 2 times 5 times 5, and 80 is factored as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. We can see that 2 2's and 1 5 are occurring in both the prime factorization of 100 and 18. 2 2's and 1 5 are the common prime factors of both 100 and 80. So HCF of 180 is 2 times 2 times 5 is equal to 20. Euclid's division lemma states that given positive integers a and b, there exist unique integers q and r satisfying the equality a is equal to b times q plus r, with the restriction that r can vary from 0 to b minus 1 only. Given positive integers a and b, there exist unique integers q and r satisfying the equality a is equal to b times q plus r, with the restriction that r is an integer which can vary from 0 to b minus 1. Intuitively, we feel that this lemma, this Euclid's division lemma, is correct. Why? If we divide a by b, we will be getting a quotient q. Call that quotient q. And when we divide a by b, we will be getting a remainder r. Call that remainder r. Then we can express a is equal to b times q plus r. Evidently, the remainder is a number that can vary from 0 to b minus 1. So when we divide a by b, the quotient that we get will be a unique number, and the remainder also will be a unique number. So intuitively we feel that this Euclid's division lemma is correct. Anyway, we will be understanding it more with one example. Suppose we are given two integers 8 and 3. Now we are going to make the equation 8 is equal to 3 times q. A is equal to b times q plus r. Here a is equal to 8 and b is equal to 3. So the equation is 8 is equal to 3 times q plus r. We have to find values. We have to find integer values for q and r satisfying this equality. We have to find integer values for q and r satisfying this equality. And r can take values 0, 1 and 2. R can take only 3 values. We have found that this equality holds, or this equation holds. This equality holds when q is equal to 2 and r is equal to 2. So 8 can be expressed as 3 times 2 plus 2. 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8. So the equality holds. So we get a value for q and we get a value for r. Suppose we want to increase the value of q. Suppose we want to increase the value of q. Suppose we have made q is equal to 3. Then this right hand side will become 3 times 3, which will be 9, and we have to make this equality holds. In order to make the equality hold, we have to subtract 1 from 9, so r should be made -1. Then only this equality holds. If q is increased by a value 1, q is increased by a value 1, then 3 then 3 times q become 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. Then to make the equality holds, to make it equal to 8, we have to give the value -1 to r. Then only this equality holds. This is not possible. Why? Because r can take values from 0 to b minus 1 only. R can take values here, r can take values 0, 1 and 2 only. So we cannot give a negative value to r. So we cannot increase the value of q. Suppose we are planning to decrease the value of q. Suppose I have made q is equal to 1. If I make q is equal to 1, then 3 times q become 3 times 1, which is equal to 3. Then in order to make this equality hold, I have to give the value 5 to r. Then only 3 plus 5 become 8, and this equality will hold. This also is not possible, since r can take only 3 values, 0, 1 and 2. R cannot be 5. So we cannot decrease the value of q. So q is fixed. So a is a given value which is fixed, b is also a given value which is fixed, and we have found that q is also fixed. So in this equality, 8 is a fixed number, 3 is a fixed number, q is a fixed number. So r is also a fixed number. So we cannot, so there exists only unique value for q and r satisfying this equality. I think you have understood this. Now we are given two integers 3 and 14. So a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 14. So 3 is equal to 14 times q plus r. We have to find values for q and r satisfying this equality. We have to find values for q and r satisfying this equality. For that, we will be dividing 3 by 14. We cannot take a 14 from 3, so the quotient is 0. And 14 times 0 is 0, and we get the remainder as 3. So 3 is expressed as 14 times 0 plus 3. 3 is 14 times 0 plus 3. Q is equal to 0 and R is equal to 3. Now we are given another two integers 7 and 23. So A is equal to 7 and B is equal to 23. We have to divide 7 by 23. We cannot take 23 from 7, so the quotient will be 0. 23 times 0 is 0, so 7 minus 0 is 7, so the remainder is 7. So 7 is expressed as 23 times 0 plus 7. Before going to the actual steps of Euclid's division algorithm, we will be understanding Euclid's division algorithm through some examples. We will be finding the HCF of 10 and 6 using Euclid's division algorithm. The first step is this. We will be taking the first number as A and the second number as B and apply Euclid's division lemma to A and B, namely 10 and 6. For that, we will divide 10 by 6. We get quotient is equal to 1 and remainder is equal to 4. Now 10 is expressed as 10 is equal to 6 times quotient, which is equal to 1, plus a remainder, and remainder we know is equal to 4. So it is of the form A is equal to B times Q plus R, where A is 10, B is 6, Q is 1 and R is 4. So 10 is equal to 6 times 1 plus 4. Now the remainder is not equal to 0. Here the remainder is 4. So now we will apply the Euclid's division lemma to the present divisor and the remainder. That is, if the remainder is not equal to 0, we will continue applying the Euclid's division lemma to the divisor and the remainder. So now we will be taking A is equal to 6 and B is equal to 4, and we will continue applying the Euclid's division lemma to 6 and 4. So we will divide 6 by 4, giving quotient is equal to 1 and remainder is equal to 2. Now 6 is expressed as 6 is equal to 4 times 1 plus 2. It is of the form A is equal to B times Q plus remainder. Here A is equal to 6, B is equal to 4, Q is equal to 1 and R is equal to 2. Here also we have seen that the remainder is not equal to 0. So we will again apply the Euclid's division lemma to 4 and 2, taking A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 2. So we will divide 4 by 2. We will divide 4 by 2. We get quotient is equal to 2 and remainder is equal to 0. Now 4 is now written as 2 times 2 plus R, which is equal to 0. Now 4 is equal to 2 times 2 plus 0. Now we have reached a stage in which the remainder is equal to 0. So the divisor at this stage will be the HCF of 10 and 6. HCF. Now the HCF of 10 and 6 is equal to 2. Use Euclid's division algorithm to find the HCF of 135 and 225. Use Euclid's division algorithm to find the HCF of 135 and 225. Here we will be taking the bigger number as A and the smaller number as B. So A is taken as 225 and B is taken as 135, and we will divide A by B. Is 225 is divided by 135. We get quotient is equal to 1. We get quotient is equal to 1 and the remainder is equal to quotient is 1 and the remainder is 90. So 225 is equal to 135 times 1 plus quotient, which is 90. So we have taken 225 as A. A is equal to B times B is equal to 135. B times Q, the quotient is 1. B times Q plus R. R is equal to 90. So 225 is equal to 135 times 1 plus 90. Here the remainder is not equal to 0. Now we will apply Euclid's division lemma to 135 and 90. So we will be dividing 135 by 90. We will get quotient is equal to 1 and remainder is equal to 45. Now we will be expressing 135 is equal to 90 times 1 plus 45. Here the divisor is 90, quotient is 1 and the remainder is 45, and the remainder is not equal to 0. So we will be applying the Euclid's division lemma to 90, which is the divisor, and the remainder, namely 45. So we will be applying the Euclid's division lemma to 90 and 45, taking A is equal to 90 and B is equal to 45. So we will divide 90 by 45. giving us quotient is equal to 2 and remainder is equal to 0. Now 90 is equal to 45 times 2 plus 0. Now we have reached a stage in which the remainder is 0. So the divisor at this stage will be the HCF of 225 and 135. So the HCF of 225 and 135 is equal to 45. Euclid's division algorithm. To obtain the HCF of two positive integers c and d with a c greater than d, follow the steps given below. We are given two integers. We will be taking the larger integer as c and the smaller one as d. Then we will divide c by d. When we divide c by d, let q be the quotient and r be the remainder that we have got. Now we will express c as d times the quotient or d times q plus r, which is the remainder. Evidently r is a number varying from 0 to d minus 1. R can be any number from 0 to d minus 1. So c is expressed as d times q plus r, where q is the quotient we got when we divide c by d and r is the remainder when we divided c by d. If r equal to 0, if we get the remainder is equal to 0, or when we divide c by d, we will be getting a remainder. If that remainder is 0, then d is the HCF of c and d. Suppose if r is not equal to 0, then apply division lemma to d and r. If the remainder is not equal to 0, then we will be again applying the Euclid's division lemma to the present d and r, and we will be continuing this process till we get a stage in which the remainder is 0. So we will be continuing applying the Euclid's division lemma to d and r till we get the remainder is 0. If at a particular stage, if we get the remainder as 0, then the divisor at that stage will be the required HCF of c and d. I think you have understood this. Use Euclid's division algorithm to find the HCF of 867 and 255. The bigger number is 867, so we will divide 867 by 255. How many 255 can be taken from 867? The fastest way to know this is remove the last digits from the dividend and the divisor, and we will check how many 25 can be taken from 86. We can take 325 from 86. We cannot take 425. 425 into 4 become 100. So we will try with 3. So 255 times 3 is equal to 765. How can we calculate it fast? 250 is splitted as 255 is splitted as 250 plus 5 and 250 plus 5 inside bracket times 3. 250 times 3 is equal to 750. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. 750 plus 15 equal to 765. Okay, we will be subtracting 765 from 867, resulting in 102. So we got the quotient as 3 and the remainder as 102. So 867 is equal to 255 times 3 plus 102. See here, see 102 is the remainder, it is not 0. Now 225 will become the dividend and 102 will become the divisor. So we will divide 255 by 102. we will divide 255 by 102. The quotient is 2 and the remainder is 51. So 255 is equal to 102 times 2 plus 51. Here also the remainder is not 0, 51. So we will continue the division process. Now the dividend is 102 and the divisor is 51. So we will divide 102 by 51. We got the quotient as 2 and the remainder as 0. So 102 is equal to 51 times 2 plus 0. Now we have reached a stage in which we got remainder as 0. The divisor at this stage will be the HCF of 867 and 255. So the divisor is 51 here. So the HCF of 867 and 255 is equal to 51.